Thank you, Mr. President. Faculty, distinguished guests, family and friends, and of course peers, good morning. Thank you for being here. It is truly an honor and just a little nerve-wracking to be speaking on behalf of the graduating class today. To my fellow graduates, we have been studying constantly, practicing for presentations tirelessly, working while going to school, having sleepless nights, many of them at school, getting sick during that also busy exam period, feeling burnt out, living on coffee and Red Bull, especially today given our grand early start, participating in clubs and activities, having a social life, some more than others, and traveling. Some of us around the world, and a lot of us on the 145, the Expo, or Millennium Lines. Does this sound familiar to you? Sounds like our time here at SFU. We have also represented Vancouver and Canada during the Olympics. We've hugged and high-fived strangers during that last medal-winning Olympic hockey game, and hope to leave the same game after the Stanley Cup Finals today. We have succeeded and failed, we've felt triumphant and burned, but most of all, we've learned. We've gone through a lot in the last while, and hopefully it's been worthwhile. Well, we're here now. For me, it was a matter of picking straws between different colleges and universities to land at this school, which I hope is not the case for you. Whether it took 2 years or an undisclosed amount of years, which I shall not specify for myself, we are all here sitting side by side, together, reflecting on our time now. So what now? Some of us will continue studying, some of us will take a much-needed break, some of us will jump right into the field, and some of us will go down a different path. Actually, a lot of us will. Analysts state that young baby boomers on average have changed jobs 11 times and careers 3 to 5 times in their lives. In fact, I myself have changed paths many times during my degree. I started off in communication in Burnaby and ended up in interactive arts and technology in Surrey. My internships went from designing on paper to designing experiences. I'm sure many of you ended up taking a different road than what you had originally intended. And that's perfectly okay. In fact, it's splendid. Today, the world needs what we call T-shaped people. Those with deep expertise in one area, but with also a broad range of skills. So now we all have our degrees. How will our degrees play a role in our next steps? Will they even? I've had the chance to speak to some of you on this, and I learned that many of us feel uncertain about depending on just our degrees to move forward. We feel that we need additional education or experience to be at a competent level. We have concerns about job security or about having to relocate. Life obstacles get in the way. Many of us are super optimistic of the knowledge we acquired and we want to apply it right away. And some of us are doubtful that we don't know enough or that our contributions won't be meaningful enough. So what was the point of our degrees? Why did we go through this higher education process? For credibility? For job and financial security? To develop intellectually? Or to do something more? To be something more? As we look into the future, it can be hard to imagine. Some of us may see clarity and be optimistic. Some of us may see uncertainty and feel anxiety. For some, it may take some time to find a role in their field. And others may have already found one that they hold dear. The world is moving very fast. It's hard to keep up. Learning is constant. We will have to keep learning even when we're 90. Otherwise, we'll be living blindly. Even some grandparents out in the audience have Facebook to keep up with their grandchildren, to speak in their language and have advantage. And this is not an exaggeration, but rather a confirmation. How will we keep up? The last few decades, even the last few years, have seen many changes. We've gone from talking to people face to face to talking to a screen, or so it seems. We're all talking, but not to each other. The world is not slowing down. It's turning faster than we can imagine. And we have to sprint to keep up. Information is The only way to get by these days is to put ourselves forward, to be our own advocates, and to safeguard ourselves. Being a design student, I have found that dealing with constraints can enable us to think more creatively and to take more risks wisely. The same applies when experiencing disappointment. Sometimes negative experiences can be a blessing because they force us to think in a different way, in a more creative way that might not have occurred to us before, and can possibly open up more doors. So in a world that is congested with information and competition, how can we stand up? By harnessing creativity and new ways of thinking. If you're covering a song, make it your own. By having faith in ourselves and having confidence in our place in this world and the value that we can bring. By having a strong work ethic. By being cognizant of others around us and having an elevated conscience of how we are applying our knowledge and our learnings around us. By being generous with our knowledge as opposed to keeping it locked away for ourselves. If you give, you receive tenfold. It's not only about the grades, but also about what we do with our education. We use it as a tool to reflect, grow, and to continue improving ourselves and others around us. And we do this by being as articulate as possible. By seeing opportunities where we may least expect them. By staying open-minded, we can recognize and maximize these opportunities. By embracing change in our lives. By just going for it. And we do not do this alone. We count on others around us to help us be the people we want to be, and to do the things that we have set out to do. Simon Fraser University. Our motto is thinking of the world. To think of the world, we must think of its people first and foremost. As such, we must strive to become creators, empathizers, and meaning makers. Look at an empty room and see a thriving space. Talk to a person and understand a different perspective. Be inquisitive about our surroundings to make cohesive sense of it. It is so fitting for Dr. Sarah McLaughlin to have received an honorary degree today, as her work is the epitome of the creativity that makes a difference in this world. So poetically, her music and her lyrics speak to us, and through that, along with her philanthropic work, she has become an exemplary role model, another layer of meaning in this world she has created. Today, we have come here together to recognize one of the many milestones in our lives and to begin a new chapter. On behalf of all the graduates, I offer gratitude to everyone who has supported us in this process. Our families, our friends, our professors, mentors, and colleagues, and all those who have inspired us. We have not done this alone. I give thanks to be fortunate enough to be living in a country where we have access to education, access to quality education. The regalia we wear and the certificates we hold, they are proof of the tools we have acquired throughout our education. We must use these learnings in a meaningful, ethical way. There is no standard formula for how this is done. We will all be on different paths, do what works for us, and perhaps even cross paths along the way. The saying, your success is my success, rings true. It's like singing in harmony. When two or more people sing the same thing in a way to complement each other, there's so much more feeling and power there. We are all here in harmony today, and together we can do so much. What you may think is a small contribution can be the start of a world-changing solution. The people you have met along the way, they all play a role in how we got here today. While looking out at a beautiful sunset in the Tuscan hill towns during a field school in Italy, a wise professor said to our group that which I'm going to repeat here. Look at the people around you. This is your network, a group of people who should not, will not let down their fellow colleagues. Acknowledge each other, appreciate each other, and support each other and those you come across. The core of this world is made up of connections and relations, so never lose this connection. this human-to-human connection. Never lose it. And with that, a huge congratulations to the class of 2011.
Thank you, Azmina. The members of the graduate